Within the extensive tapestry of stories woven throughout the Bible, one figure stands out as a brilliant beacon of inspiration: David. His unwavering courage becomes a guiding light, challenging the core of fear and adversity. In this chapter, we embark on a journey to explore the concealed teachings within David's bold clash with Goliath, peeling back layers of history to reveal a narrative that not only withstands the test of time, but imparts crucial lessons on courage, faith, and steadfast commitment. David's story isn't just a tale of ancient battles, but a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of daunting challenges. As we delve into the depths of his audacious confrontation with the giant Goliath, we uncover a narrative that has the power to resonate with us today, offering timeless insights into the nature of courage. Before we dive into the heart of David's encounter with Goliath, it's essential to understand what courage truly means. Courage is not merely the absence of fear, but the ability to confront fear head-on, to stand firm in the face of adversity. David's story serves as a captivating canvas on which the brushstrokes of courage are vividly painted, creating a masterpiece that captivates the hearts of readers across generations. The stage is set in the ancient land of Israel, a battleground where the Israelite and Philistine armies converge. Amidst the clash of swords and the rumble of war drums, a giant named Goliath emerges as a formidable foe. David, a shepherd of humble origins, steps into this arena of chaos, becoming an unlikely hero. The confrontation with Goliath becomes a symbol of courage, facing insurmountable odds. As we navigate the intricacies of David's encounter with Goliath, it becomes evident that his courage isn't confined to the pages of ancient scrolls. Instead, it transcends time, reaching out to us with a relevance that echoes through the ages. The lessons embedded in this narrative become a timeless guide, offering insights into our own struggles and battles with fear. David's courage isn't a solitary trait, but a fusion of courage, faith, and unwavering commitment. These three elements intertwine to create a formidable force, propelling David forward against all odds. Exploring this triad of strength becomes a key focus as we unravel the layers of David's character and the principles that guided his remarkable journey. As we stand at the threshold of this exploration into David's courage, it's essential to recognize that we are about to embark on a journey that goes beyond historical accounts. This is an odyssey into the very fabric of human resilience, a quest to unravel the hidden teachings that have the power to shape our understanding of courage, faith, and unwavering commitment. In the sprawling expanse of the Valley of Elah, a dramatic showdown unfolded between the armies of the Philistines and the Israelites. This battlefield, marked by rugged terrain and the tension of impending conflict, became the backdrop for one of the most iconic confrontations in biblical history. At the heart of this battlefield stood Goliath, a colossal figure whose very presence struck fear into the hearts of Saul, the Israelite king, and his warriors. Goliath, with his massive stature and formidable demeanor, became the living embodiment of the Philistines' military might. His taunts reverberated across the valley, a relentless assault on the morale of the Israelite army. For a staggering 40 days, Goliath's taunts became a haunting refrain in the ears of the Israelites. The once mighty soldiers, now paralyzed by fear, faced a seemingly insurmountable challenge. Each day that passed deepened the shadow of dread that loomed over the Israelite camp, creating a palpable atmosphere of despair. In the midst of this stifling fear, a seemingly inconspicuous figure emerged from the ranks of the Israelites: David, a young shepherd with a heart unburdened by the weight of conventional expectations. Despite his youth and lack of military stature, David dared to challenge the established norms, defying the status quo that dictated only seasoned warriors could face such a formidable foe. David's audacious decision to confront Goliath becomes a testament to the power of courage in the face of overwhelming odds. His actions challenged the very foundation of fear that gripped the Israelite army, showing that courage knows no age or societal norms. This pivotal moment sets the stage for a deeper exploration of David's character and the lessons embedded in his fearless confrontation. As we delve deeper into the confrontation in the Valley of Elah, the layers of David's courage begin to unfold. What motivated this young shepherd to step forward when seasoned warriors cowered in fear? How did his perspective on the situation differ from those around him? These questions invite us to unravel the intricacies of courage and discover a narrative that holds relevance for us today. Beyond the physical battlefield, we catch a glimpse into David's heart, a heart unswayed by the external trappings of power and prestige. His motivation extends beyond personal gain or recognition. Rather, it is fueled by a desire to remove the disgrace inflicted by Goliath's taunts upon the people of Israel. This reveals a courage deeply rooted in a sense of responsibility and commitment to a higher cause. Metaphorically, the Valley of Elah becomes a symbol of the challenges we all face in life, the daunting valleys that echo with the taunts of our personal Goliaths. David's confrontation becomes a guiding light, showing us that courage is not the absence of fear but the audacity to challenge fear head-on, even in the most intimidating valleys of life. In the unfolding saga of David's courage, we find ourselves navigating a pivotal chapter that delves into the depths of his character. Despite facing disdain and dismissal from his own brothers and even the mighty King Saul, David's resilience stands as a testament to a courage that refuses to be swayed by external judgments. Let us embark on a journey to uncover the layers of David's unwavering courage, particularly in the face of disrespect. Within the intricate dynamics of familial relationships, David, the youngest among his brothers, bore the weight of both youth and perceived insignificance. His arrival at the battlefield, inquiring about the ongoing situation, was met with scorn and contempt from his eldest brother Eliab. The sting of disrespect from one's own kin could have easily deterred a lesser spirit, but David's courage refused to waver. As David expressed his willingness to face Goliath, his declaration reached the ears of King Saul, the highest authority among the Israelites. Yet, instead of encouragement, David encountered skepticism. Saul questioned the feasibility of a young shepherd confronting the towering Goliath, emphasizing David's perceived inadequacy. In the face of this royal skepticism, David's resolve to honor the living God remained unshaken. David, undeterred by the disrespectful attitudes surrounding him, took an unexpected turn. Rather than defending himself or seeking validation, he inquired about the rewards awaiting the one who would defeat Goliath. This subtle shift in focus reveals a courage that transcends personal ego or ambition. David's motives weren't centered on personal gain. Instead, he sought to remove the disgrace inflicted by Goliath upon the armies of the living God. David's courage takes on a distinct hue as we examine the motives behind his inquiry. It wasn't driven by a desire for glory or riches, but rooted in a deep commitment to honor the living God. His perspective soared beyond the immediate challenges and personal vindication, embracing a higher purpose that sought to uplift the reputation of the divine rather than seeking personal acclaim. In the tapestry of our own lives, we often encounter moments of disrespect or dismissal. It might be from family members, peers, or even figures of authority. David's response becomes a poignant example of how courage can be a guiding force in such turbulent times. Instead of succumbing to the weight of disrespect, David's courage propelled him forward, ready to face a giant that others deemed insurmountable. In the unfolding narrative of David's courageous journey, we now delve into a chapter that explores the depth of his perspective, a perspective that transcended the physical realm. While the looming figure of Goliath cast a shadow over the battlefield, David's unique viewpoint revealed a challenge not merely to Israel, but to the very armies of the living God. This chapter unravels the layers of David's spiritual insight, showcasing that true courage extends far beyond the boundaries of the physical and material. As Goliath's presence continued to cast a formidable shadow over the Valley of Elah, the Israelite army saw a physical threat challenging their might. However, David's eyes were attuned to a different wavelength. In the face of the giant's taunts, he recognized a challenge not just to Israel, but to the honor and glory of the living God. This shift in perspective marked the beginning of a courage rooted in a realm beyond the immediate and tangible. David's ability to discern the spiritual implications of the situation set him apart, While others may have been paralyzed by the sheer physicality of Goliath, David's courage emanated from a spiritual wellspring. He understood that the battle extended beyond the visible battlefield, reaching into the spiritual dimensions where the honor of the living God was at stake. Central to David's courageous response was his unwavering commitment to uphold the honor of the living God. This commitment elevated his courage from a mere act of bravery to a sacred mission. David's perspective wasn't confined to personal survival or victory. It embraced a higher calling, the preservation of the honor of the divine, amidst the challenges posed by a giant who defied the armies of the living God. David's story teaches us that true courage isn't restricted to physical prowess or material strength. It blossoms in the soil of spiritual insight and unwavering commitment to higher values. In a world often fixated on the tangible, David's example beckons us to consider courage as a force that goes beyond the visible and measurable. While we may not face literal giants, our lives are filled with challenges that demand a courage that transcends the physical. David's example encourages us to cultivate a spiritual perspective, recognizing that our battles often extend into realms unseen. This spiritual courage enables us to navigate challenges with a resilience that surpasses the limitations of the material world. In our exploration of David's courageous odyssey, we now immerse ourselves in a pivotal chapter that unfolds at the epicenter of the Valley of Elah. As Goliath's taunts reverberated, David's response showcased a profound spiritual confidence that set him apart. This chapter unravels the layers of David's unwavering assurance in the spiritual realm, emphasizing that his battle with Goliath was not a solitary endeavor but a divine mission, guided by the Lord of hosts. Let's embark on a journey to understand how this robust spiritual confidence became the bedrock of David's unparalleled courage. As Goliath, with his towering presence, ridiculed David, the young shepherd's response wasn't a knee-jerk reaction of defiance, but a declaration rooted in profound spiritual confidence. David's courage wasn't a product of mere bravado. It was a manifestation of his unwavering trust in the Lord of hosts. In the face of Goliath's jeers, David's spirit remained unshaken, firmly anchored in a realm that surpassed the physical. Crucial to understanding David's courage is recognizing his explicit reliance on the Lord of hosts. While others may have seen an insurmountable giant, David saw a challenge that fell within the domain of divine authority. By acknowledging the Lord of hosts, David conveyed that this battle wasn't merely a clash of physical forces, but a cosmic confrontation guided by the sovereign power of the Almighty. David's proclamation that the battle was not his own but the Lord's highlighted a perspective that transcended personal heroism. His courage wasn't fueled by a desire for personal glory. It emanated from a profound understanding that he was an instrument in a larger divine mission. This realization fortified David's resolve, infusing his actions with a significance that stretched beyond the immediate conflict. At the core of David's courage lay an unwavering faith in God's control over the conflict. This wasn't a mere acknowledgement of divine existence, it was a deep-seated trust in God's active involvement. David understood that in the grand tapestry of existence, his actions were interwoven with the divine purpose, and his courage flowed from the assurance that the Lord of hosts orchestrated the outcome. David's spiritual confidence isn't confined to the ancient battleground of Elah. It echoes through the corridors of time, inviting us to ponder our own battles. In a world often fixated on the tangible, David's example challenges us to cultivate a spiritual assurance that transcends the visible. This confidence becomes a lighthouse guiding us through the storms of life, reminding us that our battles, too, are part of a larger divine narrative. As we unravel the layers of David's extraordinary courage, we delve into a crucial chapter that dissects the motivations fueling his fearless stand against Goliath. Rooted in his deep connection to Jesus, the assurance of God's vindication, the resilient nature of the soul, God's intimate proximity, and the sovereign governance of his life. These motivations form a timeless blueprint for Christians to confront challenges with unwavering courage and steadfast conviction. Join us as we explore the rich tapestry of motivations that propelled David into the arena of courage. At the core of David's courage lay a profound sense of belonging to Jesus. This foundational connection provided him with an anchor amidst the tumultuous waves of fear and uncertainty. For Christians, recognizing their belongingness to Jesus becomes the bedrock on which courage can stand unshaken. This chapter unfolds the significance of this spiritual anchor, inviting readers to ponder their own belongingness in the face of adversity. David's courage wasn't mere bravado. It was underpinned by a deep-seated assurance that God would vindicate him. This unwavering confidence, grounded in the belief that the hidden would be seen and the covered revealed, serves as a potent motivation for Christians navigating challenges. Understanding the assurance of divine vindication empowers believers to face adversity with a courage that surpasses worldly uncertainties. In the midst of physical threats, David's acknowledgement that not even death could harm the soul showcased a perspective that transcends the material realm. This chapter delves into the impervious nature of the soul, a motivation that instills a courage unbound by the fear of physical harm. For Christians, grasping the eternal nature of the soul becomes a source of resilience and courage in the face of life's challenges. David's awareness that God's proximity extended to the very hairs on his head reflects a comforting reality. This motivation unveils the intimate nature of God's presence, a presence that remains steadfast even in the midst of trials. Christians are invited to draw courage from the assurance that God is near, intimately involved in their struggles, and ready to offer solace in times of need. Central to David's courage was the understanding that God sovereignly governed his life. This chapter explores the motivation derived from trusting in God's plan, even when circumstances seemed daunting. For Christians, embracing the sovereign governance of life becomes a potent motivator, fostering courage grounded in the belief that every challenge is part of a divine narrative. Before the towering shadow of Goliath cast its formidable presence, David navigated the rugged terrain of the wilderness, tending to his father's sheep. In these seemingly mundane moments, God orchestrated a training ground for courage. The encounters with lions and bears, though perilous, became the crucible in which David's courage was forged. This chapter unfolds the significance of these wilderness trials, laying the groundwork for the unwavering courage that would define David's destiny. David's recounting of facing lions and bears was not a mere boast, but a poignant reminder of God's faithfulness in the face of danger. As he stood between the predator and the defenseless sheep, David witnessed the hand of God delivering him from the jaws of the fierce beasts. This section explores the shepherd's valor, illustrating how past victories over formidable foes laid the foundation for David's audacious confrontation with Goliath. In recounting these wilderness encounters to King Saul, David wasn't merely regaling tales of bravery. He was imparting a profound lesson on recognizing God's faithfulness. This chapter delves into the lessons learned in the wilderness, lessons that transcended the immediate perils and became a reservoir of courage for the challenges yet to unfold. David's ability to draw courage from past victories becomes a timeless template for Christians navigating their own wilderness journeys. As David stood before King Saul, he wasn't just seeking approval for an audacious feat. He was showcasing the faithfulness of God in preparing him for such a time as this. This section explores the concept of faithfulness in preparation, highlighting how every encounter with lions and bears was a strategic step in equipping David for the monumental battle against Goliath. For Christians, recognizing God's faithfulness in preparation becomes a wellspring of courage for the challenges ahead. Even as David shared his experiences, skepticism loomed in the response of King Saul. The seasoned king questioned David's ability to face the Philistine giant based on his youth. This chapter unfolds the resilience displayed by David in the face of skepticism, emphasizing that his courage was not deterred by the doubting voices but rooted in the unwavering belief in God's faithfulness. As David declared, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." He articulated a confidence that echoed through the ages. This section explores how David's confidence was a reflection of God's past help, demonstrating that the Lord who had been faithful in the wilderness battles would continue to be the source of courage in the impending Goliath encounter. In the tapestry of David's remarkable journey, this chapter unveils a pivotal moment, The triumphant stand against Goliath. As skepticism echoed in King Saul's halls, David's courage emerged victorious, showcasing that true valor involves standing firm in the presence of formidable opposition. Join us as we dissect the layers of David's unyielding courage, a courage that transcends personal gain and seeks to illuminate the glory of the Lord. As David proposed to confront Goliath, King Saul's skepticism loomed large. The seasoned ruler questioned the feasibility of such an audacious endeavor, emphasizing David's youth and inexperience. This section delves into the skepticism that served as a backdrop to David's courage, highlighting the resilience required to stand firm when even those in authority cast doubt on one's abilities. David's encounter with Goliath was not merely a clash of individuals. It was a collision of courage against overwhelming opposition. This chapter explores the confrontation, dissecting the elements that transform David's audacity into a symbol of unyielding courage. The giant's taunts, echoing across the valley of Elah, became the backdrop against which David's resolve stood firm, unshaken by the enormity of the challenge. In the face of Goliath's towering presence, David's courage wasn't fueled by personal ambition or the allure of recognition. Instead, it emanated from a noble desire to bring glory to the Lord. This section delves into the selfless nature of David's courage, unraveling how the young shepherd-turned warrior sought not personal gain, but an opportunity to illuminate the splendor of the living God. As the stone from David's sling found its mark on Goliath's forehead, the resounding victory echoed through the ages. This chapter dissects the moment of triumph, emphasizing that David's courage wasn't just a personal conquest but a testimony to the power of standing firm against opposition. The fallen giant became a symbol of courage prevailing over seemingly insurmountable odds. David's victory over Goliath transcends the pages of ancient history. It resonates as a spiritual anthem for today's hearts, grappling with their own giants. This section explores the timeless lessons embedded in David's courage, the importance of standing firm in the face of opposition, the noble pursuit of God's glory, and the transformative power of courage that extends beyond personal gain. As we unravel the chapters of David's unwavering courage, let it serve as a clarion call to today's courageous hearts. In a world fraught with opposition, skepticism, and towering giants, the example of David beckons us to stand firm. The triumph over Goliath becomes a beacon, illuminating the path for those who dare to confront their own challenges with a courage that seeks not personal gain, but the glory of the living God. In the aftermath of the monumental victory over Goliath, our exploration into David's courageous odyssey takes an intriguing turn, a chapter that unfolds the virtue of humility. Join us as we navigate the echoes of triumph, discovering how David's humility cast a radiant glow on the collective victory of Israel. This chapter unravels the symbiotic relationship between faith and courage within the tapestry of a united community. As the dust settled in the valley of Elah and Goliath lay defeated, David's response wasn't one of self-aggrandizement, but a posture of humility. This section explores the aftermath of the victory, dissecting the moments when David, in the midst of celebration, redirected the spotlight from himself to the collective triumph of Israel. The humility that marked this juncture becomes a compelling aspect of David's courageous character. David's proclamation that the victory was not solely his own, but belonged to all of Israel underscores a profound truth. Courage is communal. This chapter delves into the interconnectedness of faith and courage within the community of believers, highlighting how a collective endeavor, rooted in humility, can yield triumphs that resonate far beyond individual achievements. David's acknowledgement becomes a beacon, guiding believers to embrace a shared courage that transcends personal glory. While courage often takes center stage in tales of triumph, humility emerges as the unsung hero that binds the collective narrative. This section unravels the intrinsic link between courage and humility, showcasing how the acknowledgement of shared victories fosters a spirit of unity and resilience within the community. David's humility becomes a timeless lesson, urging believers to recognize that the strength of courage lies not only in individual acts, but in the shared journey of faith. As we reflect on David's humility in the wake of victory, let it serve as a lesson for today's believers. In a world often obsessed with individual accolades, this chapter encourages a shift in perspective, a recognition that true courage thrives in the soil of humility and shared triumphs. The beauty of collective courage, where victories are celebrated as communal achievements, becomes a transformative narrative for the believers navigating their own battles. David's humility didn't fade with the passing of time. It resonates across the ages as an enduring legacy. This section explores how the beauty of celebrating the community echoes through the corridors of history, inspiring believers to acknowledge the collective victories in their midst. The humility that marked David's proclamation becomes a call for believers today to embrace a courage that binds, uplifts, and celebrates the shared journey of faith. Amidst the ever-shifting landscapes of a world that often rejects sound doctrine, this chapter invites us to explore the inexhaustible wellspring of courage in the face of the unknown. Drawing parallels with Paul's warning to Timothy about an era marked by a turning away from truth, we delve into the urgent call for Christians to stand firm amidst societal shifts and challenges. Join us in this chapter as we navigate the uncharted waters, guided by the beacon of unyielding courage. As societal tides surge and the echoes of truth face rejection, the call to courage reverberates louder than ever. This section unfolds the narrative of an unknown future, emphasizing the imperative for Christians to stand resolute amidst the swirling currents of change. Paul's foresight becomes a prophetic echo, urging believers to brace themselves with courage in the face of uncertainties. Paul's cautionary words to Timothy serve as a lens through which we view the contemporary challenges of turning away from truth. This chapter navigates the parallels between Paul's prophetic insight and the realities faced by Christians today, emphasizing the timeless relevance of courage in countering the currents of societal shifts. The wisdom encapsulated in Paul's warning becomes a guiding light for believers grappling with the unknown. As societal sands shift beneath our feet, the urgency for courage emerges as a steadfast pillar. This section explores how courage becomes the stabilizing force, allowing Christians to stand unwaveringly when confronted with challenges to sound doctrine. The call to courage, rooted in a commitment to truth, becomes a rallying cry for believers navigating the unknown terrains of a world in flux. In the face of societal shifts that challenge foundational truths, standing firm becomes a courageous response. This chapter dissects the elements of resilience and conviction, unraveling how believers can fortify themselves with courage to withstand the unknown. The narrative of standing firm becomes a blueprint for Christians navigating the currents of change, echoing the resolute stance of those who dare to uphold unwavering principles. Timothy's era, marked by a turning away from truth, becomes a mirror reflecting the challenges of today. This section draws poignant lessons from the past, showcasing how courage served as an antidote to societal shifts. The wisdom garnered from Timothy's journey becomes a wellspring of inspiration, guiding believers to embrace courage as an anchor in the face of the unknown. As we venture into the heart of contemporary challenges, this chapter unfolds the timeless relevance of courage, urging believers to become resounding voices in the face of opposition. Drawing inspiration from Matthew 10:27, which advocates for the open proclamation of truth, we delve into the pressing need for courage in an age that frequently prioritizes conformity over conviction. Join us in this chapter as we amplify the call for courageous voices to rise and resonate in today's complex landscape. At the core of this exploration lies the resonant call from Matthew 10:27, a call to boldly and openly proclaim truth. This section dissects the essence of this biblical encouragement, emphasizing how courage plays a pivotal role in breaking the chains of silence and fear. Matthew's words become a rallying cry, urging believers to embrace the courage needed to articulate their convictions in a world that often demands conformity. This chapter delves into the multifaceted challenges of the present era, highlighting how these challenges serve as a breeding ground for courage. As societal norms shift and opposition to truth intensifies, the need for courageous voices becomes ever more pronounced. The exploration encompasses the varied landscapes of contemporary challenges, emphasizing the role of courage in navigating uncharted territories. In an age where conformity often takes precedence, speaking boldly becomes a counterbalance fueled by courage. This section dissects the dynamics of conformity and courage, showcasing how the latter emerges as a force that challenges the status quo. Believers are encouraged to rise above the pressures of conformity and embrace the courage required to articulate their beliefs with conviction. Navigating the complexities of the present age requires a firm foundation rooted in the courage-conviction nexus. This chapter explores how courage becomes a pillar supporting believers as they navigate the intricate intersections of faith and societal expectations. The courage to stand firm in one's convictions emerges as a transformative force, guiding contemporary believers through the maze of challenges. Courageous voices in today's age often find themselves tasked with embracing unpopular truths. This section unravels the essence of courage in confronting uncomfortable realities, emphasizing that true courage lies in the willingness to uphold and proclaim truths that may be unpopular. Believers are invited to embrace the discomfort and find strength in the courage that stands against the currents of societal preferences. As we unravel the hidden teachings through the courageous journey of David, we are reminded that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. In facing our giants, drawing from our past experiences and standing firm in our faith, we, like David, can overcome challenges and bring glory to the living God. May the echoes of David's courage inspire us to navigate the complexities of life with unwavering faith and boldness.